There is a question I have been asking my patients for over 30 years. Why do Japanese elders reach their 90s still standing, still independent, still strong enough to tend their own gardens, while so many people in the West begin losing strength and mobility as early as 65? Most people think the answer lies in genetics. Others say it's the diet. Some point to lifestyle. They are all partially right, but none of them have arrived at the real mechanism underneath all of it. That my name is Dr. Old Age. I was born in Japan. I trained in medicine there, and I have spent decades studying why my people age so differently. What I'm sharing with you today is not theory. It is something Eastern medicine has practiced for centuries, and that Western science has only recently begun to understand. There is a compound, natural, produced by the body itself, present in the foods the Japanese have eaten since ancient times, and it works as a shield against the muscle loss that affects nearly every adult over 60. In the Western world, its technical name is HMB-beta-hydroxybeta-methylbutyrate. And if you have never heard of it, stay until the end, because by the time this video is over, you will understand why it may be the missing piece in your health after 60. Before we begin, drop your age and where you're watching from in the comments. I read every single one. Now let's get into what really matters. The compound the East has always known in Japan. We never called it by its scientific name. We didn't need to. For centuries, elders simply ate the right way: fish, tofu, eggs, legumes, and their muscles held. Sarcopenia, the progressive muscle loss that today affects 1 in 3 adults over 60 and up to half of those past 80, was rare among Japanese elders. We didn't know the exact mechanism. We only knew it worked, that it was Western science that eventually discovered why. HMB is derived from leucine, an essential amino acid found abundantly in the central foods of the traditional Japanese diet: fish, eggs, soy products, beans. When you consume these foods, your body converts a portion of that leucine into HMB through a series of metabolic processes, and that HMB acts directly on muscle cells as protection, slowing degradation and stimulating the construction of new tissue. The problem begins around age 50. The body's ability to produce and efficiently use HMB starts to fall. After 60, that decline accelerates. Muscles become progressively less responsive, what scientists call anabolic resistance. It's as if the muscle building signal grows weaker with every passing year. And that is why so many people eat protein, do what they can, and still keep losing strength. A statement published by the Asian Working Group for Sarcopenia, comprised of specialists from across Asia, where muscular longevity is studied more deeply than anywhere else in the world, concluded that the combination of quality protein with the right micronutrients is the single most determining factor for preserving muscle in older adults. Not intense training, not expensive supplements, the right food, consistently, with the right compounds, including HMB. And the Washoku diet, traditional Japanese food, was directly associated with lower prevalence of sarcopenia in both men and women. In a study of more than 1,200 elderly Japanese adults, fish, tofu, vegetables, fruits, seaweed, the foods my grandmother served her entire life without knowing the name of a single amino acid. But what modern science did was something ancestral wisdom could not quantify, and the numbers are difficult to ignore. What the research has confirmed for years. The standard advice for fighting muscle loss was simple: lift heavy weights. The problem is that many older adults simply cannot. Joint pain, balance issues, medical conditions, recent surgeries. There are dozens of reasons why intense exercise is not an option for a significant portion of people over 60. Changes that equation. A landmark study followed healthy elderly adults through 10 days of complete bed rest, no exercise whatsoever. The group that received HMB maintained their muscle mass. The placebo group lost significant tissue. 10 days, no movement, and HMB alone was enough to protect the muscle. Another clinical trial conducted in nursing home residents showed that those who took HMB for 12 weeks increased their grip strength by 13.7% and their leg strength by 17.8%. These are not abstract numbers. They are the difference between opening a jar on your own, climbing a staircase without holding on, or rising from a chair without asking for help. The mechanism behind this is elegant, and it acts onto fronts simultaneously. HMB inhibits specific enzymes responsible for muscle degradation, essentially placing a brake on the process that accelerates with age. At the same time, it activates the mTOR pathway, the same cellular mechanism triggered by resistance exercise, signaling the body to build new muscle tissue, protection and construction at the same time. More recent research suggests HMB may also influence satellite cells, the stem cells responsible for muscle repair that become progressively less active with aging. It is like waking a maintenance system the body had put into standby mode. The clinically proven effective dose ranges from 1.5 grams to 3 grams per day, divided into 2 or 3 portions to maintain stable blood levels throughout the day. Before starting any supplementation, speak with your doctor, especially if you have kidney issues or take medications. But for those seeking a natural, science-backed way to protect their muscles without depending on the gym, HMB may be exactly what was missing. And now comes the part that moves me most as a Japanese physician, because the 7 foods I am about to share are not new to the East. They are, in fact, the foundation of what my people have eaten for generations. Science simply confirmed what tradition already knew. Food number 1, cottage cheese, the overnight protector in Japan. We have an ancient principle about eating. The last meal of the day should work while you sleep. Elders have always known that nighttime is when the body repairs itself, or when it wears down, if the right nutrients are not available. Cottage cheese is what I call the overnight protector, and science explains exactly why. It is exceptionally rich in leucine, the direct precursor to HMB, and its primary protein is casein, which digests slowly, releasing amino acids gradually over hours, precisely during sleep, when muscle degradation tends to accelerate in older adults. This creates a continuous window of protection. While you sleep, the HMB produced from cottage cheese's leucine is working, slowing degradation and sustaining muscle repair. It is the nutritional equivalent of leaving a guard on duty through the night. Incorporating it is simple: half a cup with fruits and nuts in the morning, or as a savory option blended with herbs and olive oil as a dip for vegetables. But the most powerful moment is 30 minutes before bed, a habit that transforms sleep into an ally of your muscle strength, not its enemy. Food number 2, Greek yogurt. The gut-strong Eastern medicine has always honored the gut as the center of health, long before any microbiome study. Traditional Japanese practitioners knew that a healthy gut was fundamental to absorbing the nutrients that sustain strength and longevity. Greek yogurt validates that wisdom in 2 simultaneous ways. First, its protein concentration is nearly triple that of regular yogurt, the result of its straining process. This delivers significant amounts of leucine that the body converts into HMB to protect existing muscle tissue, and its protein is absorbed at different rates, some quickly, some slowly, creating both immediate and sustained delivery of the amino acid that aging muscles need to resist breakdown. Second, the probiotics. Emerging research shows that gut health directly influences amino acid absorption and the reduction of systemic inflammation, one of the primary accelerators of muscle loss in older adults. A compromised gut absorbs less leucine. Less leucine means less HMB. Less HMB means less muscle protection. Greek yogurt takes care of all those links at once. Choose full fat varieties. The fat is necessary for absorbing vitamin D and other fat-soluble vitamins. Essential for muscle function. Use as a base for dressings, layered into parfaits with fruits and nuts, or blended into smoothies. Daily consistency matters more than the quantity on any single day. Food number 3, eggs. The most complete longevity food in Japanese culture. Eggs have always held a special place, not as a luxury, but as a food of balance. Quality protein with a high concentration of essential nutrients in a small, accessible package. Science confirms that status with precision. Eggs have one of the highest bioavailabilities among all protein sources, meaning your body can utilize virtually all of their nutritional components efficiently. This is especially critical after 60, when digestive efficiency naturally declines. You can consume lower quality protein and absorb very little, or you can eat eggs and absorb nearly everything. The HMB produced from eggs leucine acts on both sides of the muscle maintenance equation. It inhibits the degradation pathways and stimulates the synthesis of new tissue. It is like having a construction specialist and a maintenance specialist working simultaneously in the same building. And about the yolk, for decades the West demonized it. Eastern medicine never did, and modern science has finally agreed. Current research clearly shows that whole egg consumption does not negatively impact cardiovascular health for most individuals. The yolk contains vitamin D, B vitamins, and essential fatty acids that amplify HMB's effectiveness. Discarding it means wasting half the benefit. So to 3 eggs at breakfast, prepared anyway, already supply HMB precursors that work through your most active morning hours. In the evening, a vegetable-loaded frittata provides the nutrients needed for the muscle repair that happens while you sleep. Food number for salmon, the double protectorate. There is one food that represents the soul of Japanese longevity. It is fish. In Japan, fish is not an option on the menu. It is part of the food identity, and science explains clearly why that identity is directly connected to the exceptional muscle preservation of elderly Japanese people. Salmon delivers to protection mechanisms at the same time. The first, a high concentration of leucine, the direct precursor to HMB, which when metabolized creates the biochemical shield against the accelerated muscle breakdown that begins after age 60. The second, omega to 3 fatty acids. And here is the link that most people miss. Muscle loss with age is not only a problem of insufficient protein, it is also a problem of chronic low-grade inflammation that increases naturally with aging. That inflammation accelerates muscle tissue degradation independently of dietary protein. Salmon's omega-3 salts combat that process directly, reducing the inflammatory markers that erode muscle from within. A study analyzing the dietary patterns of elderly Japanese adults found that high adherence to the traditional diet, rich in fish, among other foods, was associated with lower sarcopenia prevalence in both genders. It is not coincidence. It is mechanism. To 3 servings of salmon per week, around 4 to 5 ounces each, is sufficient. Baked with lemon and herbs, and salads with canned salmon, or as salmon patties with eggs and herbs. The versatility makes the habit sustainable. Always pair with antioxidant-rich vegetables like bell peppers, spinach, or broccoli to further amplify the protective effect. Food number 5, beef. Density. For those who eat less with age, appetite decreases. It is physiological. It happens across all cultures, including Japanese. And when you eat less, every food needs to work harder. This is where beef shows its unique value. Among all protein sources, beef has one of the highest natural concentrations of leucine. But that is not all. It also provides creatine, which directly supports muscle function carnitine, iron, and zinc, all working in synergy with HMB to maintain muscle integrity. For an older adult with a reduced appetite, a 90 to 120 gram portion of lean beef 2 to 3 times a week is already sufficient to stimulate HMB production and deliver the cofactors that amplify its action. Iron deserves special mention. Iron deficiency, common in older adults, directly impairs muscle function by reducing oxygen delivery to tissue, compromising muscular performance independently of available muscle mass. Beef addresses this problem in a way that most plant-based foods cannot match in terms of efficiency and bioavailability. Lean cuts like sirloin, tenderloin, or lean ground beef are best. Prepare and stir fries with colorful vegetables and ginger, a natural anti-inflammatory, widely used in Eastern medicine, or incorporate into hearty soups with beans for a complete meal that sustains the muscle for hours. For a practical approach, prepare a larger roast and use the leftovers in different forms throughout the week, sliced thin, chopped into salads, or added to breakfast scrambles with vegetables. Food number 6. Whey protein. Speed in favor of your muscles in Japan. We value the right rhythm for everything, including eating. There is the food that nourishes slowly, like the casein in cottage cheese that protects through the night. And there is the food that acts quickly, when the muscle needs an immediate response. Whey protein belongs to that second category, and timing is everything. With up to 14% leucine concentration among available protein sources, whey delivers this amino acid directly to the muscles within approximately 30 minutes of consumption. This creates an immediate spike in HMB production precisely when muscle cells are most receptive. And here is the detail that changes everything for older adults. That window of receptivity exists even after light activities, a 15-minute walk, gardening, going up and down stairs. You do not need an intense workout to capture the benefit. Any movement activates the muscles, and activated muscles, fed with whey in the following 30 minutes, receive HMB exactly when they can use it most. The simplest form, 1 scoop of whey protein in milk or a plant-based beverage, but unflavored whey also works dissolved into oatmeal, mixed into pancake batter, stirred into soups or mashed potatoes, completely undetectable, completely effective. For those who prefer whole foods over supplements, it is a way to reach the leucine concentration that would otherwise be difficult to achieve through small solid food portions alone. Food number 7, quinoa. The wisdom of plants Okinawa has been, for decades, the place with the most centenarians per capita in the world. And the traditional Okinawan diet is predominantly plant-based. Sweet potato, tofu, legumes, whole grains. Okinawa's elders reached their 90s with muscle that would humble many 60-year-olds in the West, and they do it with roughly half the protein that Western experts consider necessary. The secret is not the quantity of protein, it is the right combination of amino acids. Quinoa is the only plant-based grain with complete protein, all 9 essential amino acids, including leucine in significant amounts for stimulating HMB production. For those who follow a predominantly plant-based diet, or simply want to reduce their animal protein intake, quinoa solves a problem that most other grains and cereals cannot, providing the complete amino acid profile necessary for HMB synthesis. In addition, quinoa is rich in magnesium, potassium, and phosphorus, minerals directly involved in muscle contraction and recovery, that become naturally depleted with age, and its fiber nourishes the gut microbiome, improving the absorption of the amino acids that fuel HMB production, closing the cycle that Eastern medicine has always recognized. Healthy gut, healthy muscles. Prepare a large batch at the beginning of each week. Use it as a warm breakfast base with plant milk and fruits. In lunch bowls topped with eggs and salmon, or replacing white rice in stir fries and stuffed peppers. Each substitution increases the meal's leucine profile, and with it, HMB production throughout the day. What Japanese centenarians really know, let me be direct with you now. As both a physician and a Japanese person in Japan, we do not have a word for senior gym, not because we don't care about muscle, quite the opposite, but because our relationship with muscular strength has never been separated from daily eating, natural movement, and the consistency of small habits. HMB is not a recent Western discovery. It is the scientific explanation for something that each practiced intuitively through generations of eating built around fish, soy, eggs, and whole grains. The Washoku diet, traditional Japanese food, was formerly associated with lower sarcopenia prevalence in population studies of over 1,000 elderly adults. Not because anyone planned it, but because centuries of food wisdom created, by design or by instinct, the perfect combination of HMB precursors that protect muscle across an entire lifetime. Sarcopenia is not inevitable. It is a consequence of accumulated choices, and it can be reversed with different choices. Starting today, your muscles retain the capacity to respond. At 65, at 75, at 85, the biological response still exists. It only needs the right stimulus. Start with one food. Cottage cheese before bed, eggs at breakfast, salmon twice a week. Small changes, applied with consistency, produce results that would seem impossible if you tried to imagine them in a single step. In Japan, we say, Ishi wa hachi juchi hitsuyo. The will of an 80-year-old man still counts. It does not matter where you are right now. What matters is what you do from this moment forward. Your strength is your independence, and it begins with your next meal. Tell me in the comments, which of these 7 foods do you already eat regularly? And which one will you start including first? I read every answer, because aging well is not something you do alone. It is something you learn together.